Bradley Chubb's long-term future in the Mile High City seems to be in question. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Sparkin over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid. Before we talk about Bradley Chubb, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video. We are inching closer and closer to 500 subscribers. We just hit 450 last night, so I would really appreciate you helping us out by giving the channel a subscribe. In his pre-draft press conference on April 22nd, Broncos general manager George Paton was asked where things stand in regards to edge rusher Bradley Chubb's contract. Chubb will be playing under his 5th-year option for a fully guaranteed salary of $13.9 million next season. Barring an extension, Chubb is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent in the 2023 offseason. When asked about the priority for the team to get a long-term deal done for Chubb, Paton responded, "We have a lot going on. We're focused on the draft, we're focused on the offseason. We'll kind of just see how that plays out." While on paper that seems like typical GM speak, if you read between the lines, it seems like the team is taking a wait-and-see approach when it comes to dishing out an extension to Bradley Chubb. Chubb, the former 5th overall pick in the 2018 draft, has struggled to stay on the field these past 3 seasons due to a litany of lower body injuries. He's only completed 1 full season, which was his rookie year in 2018, where he recorded a career-high 12 sacks. In 2019, Chubb only played in 4 games before tearing his ACL. Chubb had a solid 2020 season, recording 7.5 sacks and a Pro Bowl nod, but he also played most of the season with a nagging ankle injury. Chubb ended up having a procedure on that ankle in the 2021 offseason, but the injury still bothered him and he had to have another cleanup procedure in the middle of the 2021 season. After missing 10 games, Chubb returned to the lineup for the final stretch of 2021. When watching his tape from last season, it was very clear that even after this second procedure, Chubb just wasn't himself. I made a more in-depth video breaking down the concerns that I saw from Chubb on tape. You can check that one out after you finish this video. I'm not gonna lie, Chubb really looked like he was struggling out there last year. He struggled to generate pressure, and it showed up on the stat sheet as he didn't record a single sack in the 2021 season. The team enters 2022 with a new coaching staff where everyone has a completely clean slate. Guys are going to have to earn their standing with this new coaching staff, and that is no different with Bradley Chubb. The hope is that in 2022, Chubb can display that not only can he make it through a full season healthy, but also that he can restore the explosiveness and power at the line of scrimmage that he brought to the table in his rookie season. The Broncos signed edge rusher Randy Gregory in free agency to pair opposite Chubb, but Gregory is currently dealing with his own health issues as he is currently recovering from an off-season shoulder surgery. If you have been watching this channel for a while, then you know that I feel the edge rush depth behind Chubb and Gregory is a bit dicey, and if either one of them were to go down with an injury, we would be in big trouble. With the NFL draft approaching on Thursday, just 2 days from now, the possibility is very strong that the Broncos will look to invest one of their top picks in an edge rusher. But even if the Broncos were to go in that direction, they are still very high on Chubb and still have high expectations entering the 2022 season. "I hope Bradley is here a long time," George Paton said. "I know he is going into the last year of his deal. I told you how much I appreciate Bradley, how he's come back from the injuries. This is the first offseason he hasn't had to rehab. He's out there working. I'm really high on him as a person, the passion, the grit, the physicalness. You just can't have enough pass rushers. If we take a pass rusher, that has nothing to do with Bradley. We can't have enough." If the Broncos were to invest an early pick in the 2022 draft in an edge rusher, that player would bring very solid depth and insurance behind Chubb and Gregory in the event one or both of them miss time next season. And let's face it, in the trenches especially, guys are going to get nicked up. Football is a violent sport, so you may as well make sure you don't have all of your eggs in the Chubb and Gregory basket, so in the event that one of those eggs breaks, you are still in good shape as a football team. So let's say Bradley Chubb does make it through the 2022 season healthy, and he brings at least similar production to that of his 2020 season. What do you do at that point if you're the Broncos? You have a couple of ways you could go about it. One scenario is that you could franchise tag him and say, okay, prove that last year wasn't an outlier and that you can bring that type of production consistently. Or you could take a leap of faith and sign him to a long-term deal and not let him hit the open market that way. The downside of the tag, of course, most players don't like rolling the dice on a franchise tag. You think back to Dak Prescott, who played under the franchise tag in 2020, and he ended up getting injured. Dak still got paid since franchise quarterbacks are hard to come by, as the Broncos well know, and his positional value is much higher. The difference between Dak's situation and a situation like Chubb's is that prior to his ankle injury, Dak's bill of health was relatively clean. That is not the case with Chubb, as he has a history of injuries dating all the way back to high school. One more injury and Chubb's market could absolutely crumble. So I highly doubt he would want to go for playing under a franchise tag, as he is likely going to want some form of long-term financial security, and frankly, who could blame him? It's a very interesting conversation, so let me know in the comment section below, Broncos country, how would you handle Bradley Chubb's contract situation if you were general manager George Paton? I feel that he is taking a very smart approach by waiting to see how Bradley plays in the 2022 season. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you could help us out by subscribing if you haven't done so already. Also, give me a follow on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for more coverage of our Denver Broncos as well as the NFL in general. And for now, this has been another episode of Sparkin' Over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.
Yondo.